Welcome to the Shut Up and Work podcast. I am your wonderful host, the coach, and today I'm going to tell you a story of one of my past work experiences of dealing with a racist employee. I call this employee Bulldog Burke. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the story. This story begins on a Thursday night back into the, I would say, late 90s. As I was working my first full-time job as a material handler in an industrial plant. As I arrived at work that evening to our pre-production meeting, I noticed that our supervisor wasn't there that evening.
Please, no!
There was a lady filling in for her, and let's call her Bulldog Burke. And the reason why I call this lady a bulldog, number one, she looked like a damn bulldog in the face. She was built like a linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys or the Houston Texans with big shoulders and a big back. But the only problem was she had tiny little bitty legs. And this woman stood about 5'5", 5'6". Number two, this lady was a straight out racist. I heard several black employees like me talk about how she tried to write them up or she tried to get them fired, doing some racist, underhanded stuff, trying to use her authority as a lead production worker. As we're having our quick meeting before we start work, she's telling us that the shift before had a lot of employees who were out that day, including my complimentary material handler that works the first shift, didn't show up for whatever rhyme or reason. And a lot of the work was behind and we needed to get caught up. Immediately when the meeting was over with, I jumped into action. I started working hard, busting my butt, getting the supplies and materials to the production lines, taking them off the production lines. Once the workers were finished with them, I was loading the trucks or putting the material back into the warehouse for storage. So for the first 2 or 3 hours, I was just humping, thumping, going and flowing. And I was working so hard that I was sweating in my uniform. I had on a white shirt and you could see the sweat stain coming out under my arms and on my chest area. Finally, about 3 hours into the shift, we caught up. Everything was settling down. Everything was going like a normal shift. And this is when I was going to take my break so I could catch my breath. Well, right before I could walk to the break room, Bulldog Burke approaches me and she says,
"I want to talk to you in the office."
And I'm like, okay, what is this about? Go in the office. She hands me about 3 sheets of paper. And all I hear her say is,
"Sign it. Just go ahead and sign it. Don't ask any questions."
and as I'm looking at this paper, I'm noticing she's trying to write me up. She's putting the time of when we started work. And she's documenting this, saying, oh, he was behind in getting material to the production line. He was behind with this. He was behind with that. Now, remind you, I just told you what she told us at the beginning of the shift. And this is what I began to reply to her. I said, why are you writing me up when you told us that everybody was shorthanded on the first shift and my material handler for the first shift didn't show up, and I'm doing his work and I got everything caught up within 2 or 3 hours on our shift? This big back bulldog looking woman lost her damn mind. And she said,
You ain't got no questions, no complaints. I already talked to the department manager, Bob, and he said to write you up. So I don't want to hear it. Just sign the paperwork.
So I gathered my composure and I looked at her and I told her, I'm not signing the damn thing. I'm going to have to talk to Bob when he gets here in the morning. And she told me,
well, he already told me to do it and write you up.
and I said, okay, we'll see about that when he gets here. So sure enough, later on in the wee hours of the morning, around about 6:15, is when the department manager was showing up for the 7 a.m. shift. Here comes Bob. Bob, he's about 6'2", looks like Hank from the cartoon King of the Hill, an Adult Swim cartoon. You can look it up. Except the only difference is he is bald on top and he's got a big beer gut. He walks in and I jumped out on him like a leopard jumping on an antelope. I was like, hey, Bob, can I speak to you for a second? And he looks at me.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I said, Bulldog Burke was trying to write me up for this work that wasn't done by the first shift material handler. And if you look here, you can see where she put the time. It was when we started the shift. She explained to us in the production meeting that the first shift was shorthand, that the material handler didn't show up, that we were going to have to work to get caught up from what they didn't complete. And I told him I caught up with their work plus our work by 9 o'clock yesterday evening. So I said, this is not right that she's trying to write me up. And then Bob replied to me. He said,
Oh, I see. Well, don't worry about it. I'll go and talk to Kathy and see what this is all about. Don't worry about that paperwork and don't sign anything.
Sure enough, I didn't. I kept that paperwork and I didn't hear nothing back from Bulldog Burke or from Bob, which was kind of telling me now that I'm older that maybe Bob was in on this whole idea to try to write me up. Nothing ever came of that situation, and I was never bothered by Bulldog Burke again, because Bulldog Burke, she was moved to the first shift, which was the day shift, not the overnight shift anymore. And with that being said about this story, is the moral is, especially you young black people out there, is when you go into work, make sure that you're going into work. Be careful who you fraternize with and who you talking to and who's smiling in your face, because that smiling face might be the same person that's trying to stick a knife in your back and trying to get you fired on the job. And which in my case, it didn't work. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this story. And if you did, don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also, my book is still available on Amazon, which is called Shut Up and Work, Surviving Then Escaping the Workplace. I put a link in the description and you will also see it at the end of this video. Other than that, I hope all of you have a wonderful day and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.